The universal definition of the word secret, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, is as follows: a piece of information that is only known by one person or a few people and should not be told to others. Pretty straightforward if you ask me. A piece of confidential information usually kept to yourself, but can be shared around a very small number of people, usually like 1 or 2, until it no longer becomes a secret. On a totally unrelated note, here is a compiled list of people who know the true identity of Pye-thon in Zenless Zone Zero. New Eridu might seem like a lively, thriving, bustling metropolis on the surface, but actually they're the last surviving city in a world almost entirely swallowed up by the supernatural disasters known as Hollows, where savage monsters known as ethereals reside. The residents there worship and follow the path of preservation. See, that's a Honkai Star Rail reference. Adjusting and adapting to the constantly changing nature of these hollows in order to see another day. Some of these people choose to go into the hollows for various reasons, ranging from gathering resources to other nefarious activities. There is a slight problem though, as prolonged exposure to these hollows by any normal human being is lethal. Also, because of their constant environmental fluctuations, they're not exactly the easiest thing to navigate. Enter Proxies. Proxies are guides who can be hired to help you traverse hollows without a hitch. They get you in, show you the best possible route to whatever you're looking for, and map a way out. However, these guide jobs are usually taken on officially by the HIA, the Hollow Investigative Agency, meaning proxy work is seen as illegal and prosecutable by New Eridu law. Out of all the proxies in New Eridu, Pye-thon stands out from the rest as they're regarded as legends. The best of the best, as they possess the ability to control a bamboo remotely by transferring their consciousness directly into it. But who is the legendary proxy Pye-thon? Well, that is a well-kept secret. Anyway, Belle and Wise are a pair of innocent, hardworking siblings running a video rental store in the quiet suburban 6th Street of the Janus Quarter. As the main protagonist duo of the game, we see New Eridu through their eyes as we follow their everyday lives running the video store, catching up with friends, helping bamboos and animals alike in distress, basically playing our part and contributing as a law-abiding member of society. Though everything is not as it seems. Behind closed doors, Belle and Wise run a second business which rakes them far more money than their measly video rental store. A business that they run through a website called Internet, where individuals can commission them to help navigate through hollows, avoid ethereals, find resources and or personal belongings, and bring them out to safety. Yep, they're proxies. And not just any proxies, they are Pye-thon. Congratulations, now you are part of that exclusive list from earlier. Yes, our innocent, hardworking protagonists are actually Pye-thon. I guess you can say the cat is out of the bag, which is ironic since Seth Lowell is the only person within the main story that doesn't know we're Pye-thon. So the cat isn't out of the bag, I guess? Well, at least not yet. It's honestly a miracle that we actually have to tell people. I mean, EOS is literally branded with Random Place logo, so I have mixed feelings about this. I remember early on in the story when it was such a big deal that they had to sacrifice the original Pye-thon account in order to save the Cunning Hairs. All their hard work, their legendary internet status, their legacy, their anonymity, even though it was actually them, flushed down the toilet. A difficult yet necessary sacrifice. At the time, I'm pretty sure the only people who knew they were Pye-thon, besides the Cunning Hairs, were Shepard and Venus, our information brokers, and a handful of 6th Street's NPCs, such as General Chop and Enzo. A fair sum of people, but at least it's a closed group of people. As the story progressed though, things started to get shaky. We straight up tell Victoria housekeeping, Nicole tells Billabong Industries, Sons of Caldon find out via connections, aka Billy. Section 6 figures it out, Miyabi straight up tells PubSec, Astra finds out because the twins are simps, and Vivian finds out because she's a simp. Now I get it. Revealing our secret to the agents was necessary to the progression of the overall story, and even though what we're doing is technically illegal in the eyes of the law, we are at least lucky enough to have spilled our secret to individuals who are in a position to ensure our safety. Yes, PubSec knows, but it's purposely limited to only Zhu Yuan and Xing Yi, members of the Criminal Investigation Special Response Team, as well as a couple of powerful higher-ups such as Seth's brother. This ensures that the run-of-the-mill field officer like Joran or Sita will not be a thorn on our sides for the time being. Yes, the mayor knows, but that's because he has links to Helios Academy and is a friend of our old teacher Carol Anna. And yes, HSO6 knows, but I would like to see someone pry that info out of them with Hoshimi Miyabi on the team. But what does this ultimately mean for Pye-thon? Being undercover proxies who help apprehend criminals in the hollows, we're bound to step on some toes here and there. Sure, everything is all sunshine and rainbows as of now, but there are a few pros and cons to consider when your secret is in the hands of so many people. Let's start with the pros. Now that practically all the agents we've come across, bar one, know we're Phaethon, it gives more transparency in the relationship between proxy and agent. For the agent, they know exactly who they're dealing with, being comfortable to come to us whenever danger is reaching max level. They know we have no ulterior motives, they know exactly what we're capable of, and they know if they stick with us, they can swiftly go in and out of the hollows without a hitch. For the proxies, they can sit comfortably knowing that they're spoiled for choice when they need some muscle to turn to. Continue to build their reputation as legendary proxies by exploring all sorts of hollows, both new and old, to map out fresh carrot data, as well as the fact that they know high-paying commissions will just roll through the door when they least expect it. That keeps the cash flow coming in, keeps the electricity flowing to Fairy and the HDD, life is good. It also gets us closer to the factions themselves. We often get comfortable hanging out with agents outside of hollow work, building our trust levels and having noodles with them. Lots and lots of noodles. It's important to note these agents have lives outside of work, and doing simple things such as watching a movie or going for a walk humanizes them and makes them feel more than just hired mercenaries that exist to get the job done. In fact, I'm glad we built trust relationships with them, because we would have absolutely been crushed by Bringer at the end of chapter 5 if we hadn't done so. But I doubt they would have even bothered to show up if we were some faceless proxy. Another positive expands on something I touched on earlier, and that is we are making friends with the right people. The people who call the shots, the people we want to see on our side in case something drastic happens. For example, we're currently under protection of the Hoshimis, a prominent family in New Eridu, so no rogue party will dare to attack us, because then they will have to deal with Hoshimi Miyabi. These connections are going to be crucial as the story progresses, since the battles and stories are guaranteed to get darker from here on out, so hopefully these pay off for us when the time comes. On the flip side, having our secret exposed comes with its fair share of cons. The biggest issue is that we are now open to betrayal. Sure, our identity is kept under wraps for now, but considering the personalities of some of the people who know, I'm just hoping it stays that way. For one, you have Nicole, a shoddy businesswoman who'd do almost anything for a quick dime. She has been a ride or die for Pye-thon since day one, but also in constant financial stress. Let's say, in theory, a nefarious party comes along somewhere down the line and makes her an offer she cannot refuse. Clearing her debts, huge mansion, or maybe adding a few extra zeros at the end of that check for good measure, in exchange for information on Phaethon. Would she take it? Probably not. She has shown some restraint and maturity during chapter 5 when she said no to Miyabi's face, knowing she could slice her in half at any given moment, but knowing her infatuation with money, it could still happen. Then there's Jane Doe. I don't really remember if it was confirmed that she knows we're Pye-thon, but I found that she does mention us by that name during one of her event dialogues, so she might have a slight idea, but her agent details say that she doesn't. In the scenario that she does though, that would pose a huge risk if she would oppose us due to her expertise in manipulation tactics. Then there's the possibility of info falling into the wrong hands. You can see this is an extension of the previous point of betrayal, but Zenless Zone Zero has proven it will not hesitate to go down the kidnapping route. We've seen Rain get kidnapped before and almost killed because she knew too much, so who's to stop, say, Venus or Astra Yao getting kidnapped for information on Phaethon? Actually, whoever kidnaps the latter would have to deal with Evelyn, so best of luck to them. Hugo Vlad actually said something in the latest patch which caught my attention and leads to my next point. I won't say what it is because it's a spoiler, but if you played the patch, you can probably decipher what it is. Conflict of interest. Because Bell and Wise are so close to their agents, they are comfortable entering the hollows or dangerous areas with them physically instead of just controlling ears, which is a problem in of itself. If, say, the enemy were to take this chance to imprison Phaethon and give the agents a choice, hand over an artifact which would ultimately play a part in the fall of New Eridu or risk harm to Phaethon. 500,000 people versus one person. It's that train meme all over again. The agents in the story would most likely do everything they can to save Phaethon, of course, but what if they fail? Would this be the same way they act if they weren't familiar with Phaethon? This is of course an extreme example. The game would probably have Caesar fall from the sky with her motorcycle at this point right on top of the perpetrator to heroically save the day. But if you were the agent, which one would you choose? Phaethon at this point are like VTubers. Anonymous at the surface level, but you don't have to look far to figure out who it is if you really tried. We've lucked out so far and established pretty powerful connections by just revealing who we are to the right people, but it begs the question, is it really still a secret? For now, yes, but if we continue to just expose ourselves literally every patch from here on out, its classification might as well just be demoted to forbidden knowledge or something that's on an extremely need-to-know basis, not an absolute secret. I'm curious about what you guys think. Let's talk about it. Sound off in the comments below. I think I struck a nerve with some people in the last video with my snowflake comment, and in case you didn't see the pinned comment, I admit my ignorance to the scale of the TV mode hatred, and for that I apologize. Though I still think they should have just simplified it or improved it rather than remove it entirely. Consider leaving a like as well, and if you're interested in seeing more videos similar to this one from me, hit that sub button because there's way more coming. Till next time.